What if everything you were taught about God, about life, about reality was a lie? What if the spirit they told you to worship was never outside of you, but vibrating inside your very soul? They didn't want you to know this. They built a world to keep you blind, to keep you weak, to keep you in chains of fear. But Tesla knew. The ancients knew. And now, you're about to know too. Because the truth is this: God speaks in frequency. Spirit is vibration. And the moment you understand this, nothing in your life will ever be the same again. The divine frequency revealed. Imagine this for a moment. You open your eyes one morning and everything feels empty. The world looks the same walls, the same ceiling, the same gray light slipping through the curtains. But something inside you feels hollow, as if a piece of your soul has been missing all along. You try to shake it off, but deep down, you know, this isn't living, it's existing. What if I told you that this feeling of emptiness isn't an accident? That since the day you were born, an invisible system has been pulling the strings of your reality, feeding you fear, confusion, and lies, keeping you disconnected from your true nature? Because here's the truth they never wanted you to hear. The divine isn't silent. God isn't distant. Spirit isn't some unreachable force beyond the stars. It's here. It's everywhere. And it's speaking to you right now, in the only language the universe has ever known: frequency. The greatest secret never told. Every holy book, every spiritual tradition, every mystical text, beneath all the metaphors and mistranslations, has been pointing to this one truth. Everything vibrates, everything sings, and your soul is music in motion. The word spirit comes from the Latin spiritus, meaning breath or wind, both of which are vibrational phenomena. The first sound you made when you entered this world was a vibration. The first words ever spoken, the ancient Om of the Vedas, the word in the Gospel of John, weren't mere poetry. They were codes, keys, frequencies of creation itself. When Jesus said, "In the beginning was the Word," he wasn't describing letters on a page. He was revealing a universal law. Sound, the vibration of spirit, is the seed of reality. Hindus call it Om. Mystics call it the cosmic tone. And Tesla? Tesla called it the fundamental operating system of the universe. Tesla's whisper from the infinite. Nikola Tesla once said, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." He didn't speak in riddles. He spoke in revelation. Tesla understood what the world still struggles to accept. Reality isn't solid. It's a symphony. Your life isn't random. It's a resonance. But this truth? It was too dangerous for the ruling powers to allow. Because the moment you understand that spirit is frequency, that you have the power to tune your own vibration, you become unstoppable. You stop being a follower. You stop being a slave. And they lose control. The prison of low vibration. Look around you. Depression, anxiety, violence, division. You think these are coincidences? They are not. They are weapons. Weapons designed to keep humanity vibrating at its lowest possible frequency. Fear, shame, guilt, because when you vibrate low, you cannot manifest. You cannot awaken. You become easy to manipulate. And so, they flood your world with noise. Toxic media, processed food, poison in your water, endless distractions. Even the music you love has been altered. The global music industry shifted the tuning standard to 440 Hz, a frequency that creates subtle tension and anxiety, replacing the natural 432 Hz, which harmonizes with the earth and promotes healing. Why? Because a stressed population is a controlled population, the divine pulse within you. But here's what they couldn't destroy: the truth inside your cells. Science has finally caught up to what the ancients always knew. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field that extends up to 8 feet around you. Your emotions emit frequencies measurable by machines. Your DNA acts as an antenna, receiving and transmitting information in the form of vibration. Do you realize what that means? You're not a powerless being begging for miracles. You are a living transmitter, a frequency generator, a a creator. And when your frequency aligns with the divine, the original harmonic vibration from which all things arise, everything changes. Your body heals. Your mind clears. Your reality reorganizes itself to match the signal you broadcast. The first breath of awakening. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. Feel the air enter your lungs. That breath, that rhythm, that pulse is the same rhythm that moves galaxies across the cosmos. The same vibration that births stars, that shapes oceans, that whispers through the trees when the wind blows. You're not separate from it. You are it. And when you finally understand this, not just in your mind, but in your bones, in your cells, your life will never be the same. You'll stop asking for signs because you'll realize you are the sign. You'll stop chasing miracles because you'll remember you are the miracle. But before that awakening can happen, you need to see how deep the deception goes. You need to understand how an elite few took this sacred science of vibration and twisted it into a tool of control. Because only then will you know how to take your power back. Coming next, Tesla's hidden spiritual discoveries. This is where the story explodes. What Tesla discovered in his secret experiments would have changed humanity forever. It could have ended war, erased poverty, healed disease. But instead, those discoveries vanished into classified vaults the moment he died. Why? Because they weren't just about free energy. They were about the language of God. Are you ready to uncover what they stole from you? Because what you're about to learn will challenge everything you've ever believed about science, spirituality, and reality itself. Tesla's hidden spiritual discoveries. A man who listened to the universe. Picture a man alone in a dimly lit laboratory at midnight. The world outside is asleep, but his mind is alive, racing with ideas that don't belong to this century or even this world. He places his hands on a copper coil, closes his eyes, and listens, not with his ears, but with his entire being. Because Nikola Tesla didn't just hear electricity. He heard the heartbeat of the planet. Tesla was not an inventor in the ordinary sense. He was a mystic scientist, bridging two worlds, decoding a universal language hidden from the masses. While others saw machines, he saw frequencies of consciousness, waves of energy flowing through everything, through the ground beneath your feet, through the stars above, and yes, through you. Tesla believed that if you could learn to speak this language, if you could master energy, frequency, and vibration, you could command reality itself. Not metaphorically, literally. The secret he couldn't publish. When Tesla said, "The day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in one decade than in all the previous centuries." He wasn't speaking in riddles. He was giving us a warning, a prophecy. Because Tesla's greatest experiments weren't about light bulbs or motors. They were about consciousness technology. And those experiments never made it to your history books. What did he discover? Let me take you there. Imagine standing inside a massive tower, Tesla's Wardenclyffe Tower. Most people believed it was about wireless power. And yes, it was. But that was only the surface. Tesla was trying to transmit energy across the globe without wires. But not just electrical energy. He believed information, thought, even intention, could ride on these frequencies. He had tapped into something extraordinary. The Earth itself vibrates at a specific frequency, around 7.83 Hz, a rhythm now called the Schumann resonance. This is not random. This is the Earth's heartbeat. And Tesla knew, if you could harmonize with this planetary pulse, you could unlock a direct interface with the field that connects all things. Scalar waves, the pathway to the infinite. Tesla uncovered something the scientific establishment still struggles to comprehend: scalar waves. Unlike ordinary electromagnetic waves, scalar waves don't weaken over distance. They don't move through space the way light does. They exist everywhere at once, beyond the speed of light, beyond linear time. Tesla called it the zero-point field, a limitless sea of energy, the primal essence of existence. Why was this so dangerous? Because if a human mind could influence this field, and Tesla believed it could, then reality could be shaped by consciousness. Your thoughts wouldn't just stay in your head. They would ripple through the fabric of space-time itself, collapsing probabilities into physical form. Thought would become thing. Desire would become matter. The government panic. When Tesla died in 1943, FBI agents stormed his hotel room within hours. They didn't come for his blueprints of motors or his lighting diagrams. They came for his papers on energy transmission, frequency manipulation, and consciousness resonance. Officially, these documents were lost. Unofficially, they became classified projects buried deep within black budgets and military vaults. Why? Because whoever controls frequency controls reality. Imagine an army that doesn't need bullets, just devices that alter brainwaves, emotions, and mass behavior. Imagine a ruling elite that can keep entire populations vibrating in fear, in anger, in submission, without them even knowing why. Now look at the world we live in. Is it starting to make sense? Tesla's final revelation. Before he died, Tesla spoke of a universal frequency, a combination of waves that could open what he called gateways to other dimensions. He claimed these frequencies could induce out-of-body experiences, communicate with non-physical intelligences, and even manipulate time. Sound like science fiction? Modern quantum physics says otherwise. Today, we know about quantum entanglement, particles influencing each other instantly across vast distances. Tesla understood this before anyone else dared to imagine it. He wrote in his private notes, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." Those weren't poetic words. They were the coordinates to the matrix of reality itself, the blueprint of creation and control. Tesla discovered a truth so profound it terrified those in power. The universe isn't a machine. It's an orchestra. Every atom, every star, every thought plays a note in the infinite symphony of existence. And humans? We are instruments. If you tune us to harmony, we create heaven on earth. If you tune us to dissonance, we create hell. And guess which tuning the world has been set to for the last century? Your power in their hands. This is why the music industry was shifted from 432 Hz, the frequency aligned with nature, to 440 Hz. It seems small, 8 cycles per second, but that subtle difference creates agitation in your nervous system. It makes you restless, anxious, perfect for consumerism, perfect for control. This is why fluoride calcifies your pineal gland, the ancient third eye that senses higher frequencies. This is why electromagnetic smog surrounds you from devices you can't live without. They are not random conveniences. They are vibrational weapons. And yet, despite all their efforts, they cannot erase what you are. A being of frequency, a co-creator, a spark of the divine oscillating in human form. And Tesla left us the key to remember, the doorway back to power. Tesla knew that once humanity reclaimed this truth, everything would change. Money would lose its chains. Disease would bow to energy medicine. War would become obsolete. But for that to happen, you need to understand the deeper mechanics of this vibrational reality. You need to learn what the ancients knew and what modern science is only now rediscovering. Because the secret Tesla uncovered wasn't his alone. It was a whisper carried through millennia, from Egyptian temples to Tibetan monasteries to the very pyramids that still hum with the resonance of creation. And that brings us to the next revelation, the sacred science of sound, the lost knowledge of civilizations that understood vibration, not as theory, but as technology. Ancient vibrational wisdom decoded, a whisper from the past. Close your eyes and imagine this. You're standing before the Great Pyramid of Giza at sunrise. The desert air is still. The first rays of light ignite the ancient stone in a golden blaze. You feel something deep in your bones. It's not just awe, it's resonance. You place your hand on a limestone block and feel a hum. It's subtle, almost imperceptible, but it's there. The pyramid is singing. And suddenly, a question ignites in your soul. What if these structures weren't tombs? What if they were tuning forks for the soul? The lost science of sound. Ancient civilizations weren't primitive. They were vibrational architects. Every temple, every megalithic monument, every sacred chant, they weren't rituals for the gods. They were technologies for consciousness. The Great Pyramid resonates at 110 Hz, a frequency proven by modern neuroscience to deactivate the brain's language centers and activate intuition, emotion, and mystical states. Hindu sages chanted Om for millennia, a sound measured today at 432 Hz, a tone harmonizing with the Earth's heartbeat. Tibetan monks perfected mantras that create standing waves in the body, literally dissolving energetic blockages. This wasn't superstition. It was precision engineering of frequency. Architecture as a vibrational device. Walk into a Gothic cathedral in France. Whisper a prayer and watch your voice soar to the heavens. That's not luck. Those arches and vaults were calibrated to amplify sound frequencies that induce transcendence. Go deeper. The Mayan pyramids? Their steps echo a chirp when struck, a sound mimicking the call of the sacred Quetzal bird. Stonehenge? Its circle isn't random. It's a resonance chamber, focusing energy like a giant tuning device. Why? Because the ancients knew something we've forgotten. Sound doesn't just travel through air. It travels through matter. Through you. Through reality itself. The Om that created everything. The Vedas call it Om. The Bible calls it the Word. Science calls it the primordial vibration. Every tradition speaks of a sound that began creation. When Jesus said, "In the beginning was the Word," he wasn't speaking in poetry. He was pointing to a vibrational truth, that the first act of creation was a frequency. The Hindus understood this too. Om, a single syllable believed to hold the vibrational pattern of the entire cosmos. The Egyptians tuned their temples to resonate with planetary frequencies. The Aboriginal elders of Australia used the didgeridoo to produce overtones that induce trance states and even physical healing. This is not coincidence. It's a universal language, the language of vibration. Why this knowledge disappeared? Ask yourself, why did every great culture build massive resonance chambers? Why did they obsess over sound and geometry? Because they knew that vibration isn't entertainment. It's power. And whoever controls vibration controls reality. That's why this wisdom was hidden. It was pulled from the hands of the people and locked away in mystery schools, priesthoods, and secret societies. Those who try to share it, silenced. Those who mastered it, worshipped or feared. Even the church understood this. Why do you think Gregorian chants were permitted, but harmonic polyphony was banned for centuries? Because certain harmonic intervals open consciousness. And an open consciousness can't be controlled. Modern science confirms the mystery. Fast forward to today. Researchers at Princeton's Global Consciousness Project found that when large groups meditate, random number generators physically shift, as if reality itself bends under collective thought. Yale scientists discovered that specific sound frequencies accelerate bone regeneration. Russian experiments proved that DNA responds to frequency and can even be reprogrammed by it. Everything the ancients knew is now written in the language of physics. And it all points to one truth. Frequency creates form. You are a living resonance chamber. Here's the part they never wanted you to know. You're not separate from this universal symphony. You are an instrument. Every thought is a frequency. Every emotion is a waveform. Every word you speak is a ripple in the quantum ocean. When you vibrate in harmony, love, gratitude, awe, you broadcast healing frequencies. When you vibrate in fear, anger, despair, you feed chaos into the field. This is why ancient shamans were revered. They weren't magicians. They were frequency anchors, holding their communities in resonance with higher states of being. And this is what Tesla understood. This is why he spent his life building machines that mimic what the ancients mastered without a single wire. They both knew reality isn't solid. It's a song. And whoever writes the melody, writes the world. The code hidden in plain sight. Look closely. The golden ratio in a sunflower. The spiral of a galaxy. The vibration of your own heartbeat. Nature is speaking in numbers, shapes, and tones. This isn't random beauty. It's a cosmic code. A code Tesla tried to decode with machines. A code the ancients embodied in chants, dances, and stone. And now, that code is calling you. Because this knowledge isn't just history. It's destiny. A destiny they've tried to keep you from remembering by drowning you in noise, distraction, and fear. But you can feel it, can't you? In the stillness between your breaths, in the goosebumps when a song moves your soul. You know, you were born to tune in. And when you do, when enough of us do, the entire world will shift. What comes next? This isn't a fairy tale. It's physics. And in the next section, we'll dive into why this truth was buried and how the very systems controlling our world have weaponized vibration to keep you weak, distracted, and disconnected. Because if you can enslave someone's frequency, you never need chains. But if you learn to reclaim it, you become unstoppable. The suppression of sacred knowledge, the greatest robbery in human history. Stop for a moment and ask yourself, if this knowledge, that frequency creates reality, was known to the ancients, why don't you know it? Why didn't they teach you this in school? Why isn't this on the front page of every newspaper? Because they stole it from you. Not just the rulers of old kingdoms, but the architects of the world you live in today. They took the very blueprint of your divinity and hid it in vaults, behind rituals, and inside coded texts. And they replaced it with something else. A lie so big, you built your life on it. Chains you can't see. You were taught that power lies outside you, that God is somewhere far away, that miracles happen to chosen people, not you. You were conditioned to bow, obey, and doubt your own soul. But here's the brutal truth. If you realize that your thoughts, emotions, and intentions create reality, no government could control you. No corporation could profit from your pain. No religion could hold you hostage with fear of hell. So they built a system, an invisible cage where the bars aren't steel. They're frequencies, weaponized frequencies. Look at music. For centuries, instruments were tuned to 432 hertz, a frequency that resonates with the earth, calms the nervous system, and awakens higher states of consciousness. Then, in 1939, something happened. The global standard shifted to 440 hertz, a tone that subtly creates tension and unease. Why? Because an anxious population is an obedient population. Coincidence? Or calculated? Your mind under siege. The attack doesn't stop at music. Fluoride in your water calcifies the pineal gland, the seat of your spiritual perception. EMF radiation from your devices scrambles your natural energy fields. Processed foods loaded with chemicals disrupt your gut, the very center of your intuitive intelligence. You think these are health issues. They're not. They're vibrational sabotage. Because if they can keep you in a low frequency, fear, anger, despair, they can control you without ever laying a hand on you. The silencing of Tesla. And then there's Tesla, the man who cracked the code of the universe. Tesla didn't just dream of free energy. He understood the zero-point field, a sea of pure energy connecting everything. He discovered that certain frequency combinations could induce altered states, telepathic communication, even matter manipulation. He called it the universal language. But what happened when he tried to share it? They destroyed him. His lab burned down. His funding vanished. And after his death, the U.S. government seized every paper, every diagram, every blueprint. Why? Because Tesla wasn't inventing gadgets. He was handing humanity the keys to freedom. And freedom is bad for business. Religion's rewritten for control. Think about this. Every major scripture says, the kingdom of God is within you. So why do we kneel to buildings? To men in robes? To systems that feed on guilt and fear? Because those words were never erased, only buried beneath mountains of dogma. The mystical teachings that empowered individuals were labeled heresy and burned. Mystics were hunted. Wisdom keepers were slaughtered. And what replaced it? A God outside of you. A God you could never reach without an intermediary. Translation: stay small. Stay afraid. Stay controlled. The dark psychology of power. Understand this. The elite don't care what you believe, as long as you believe you're powerless. They don't fear your body. They fear your frequency. Because a human being vibrating in love, clarity, and sovereignty can change the collective field. And if enough of us rise, the game ends. That's why history is a graveyard of burned libraries and vanished civilizations. Alexandria didn't burn by accident. It was erasure, a reset, so they could rewrite reality from scratch. The modern prison disguised as freedom. Today, the bars of your cage are digital. Endless scrolling, endless noise, algorithms feeding you fear because fear is sticky. News headlines screaming chaos because chaos keeps you watching. You think you're informed. You're being entrained. Your nervous system tuned to panic. Your mind vibrating in survival mode. When you're in fear, you don't create. You don't question. You obey. Why you feel empty, it's not your fault. Ever wonder why you can have everything? Money, success, followers, and still feel hollow? Because your soul isn't wired for likes and paychecks. It's wired for resonance. You're starving not for food, but for frequency. And they know it. That's why the system sells you substitutes. Drugs for your anxiety. Streaming shows for your loneliness. Quick dopamine hits that never satisfy. It's a vibrational trap. A treadmill that keeps you running while going nowhere. The return of the forbidden knowledge. But here's the plot twist. The truth they buried is rising again. Why? Because consciousness can't be caged forever. Ancient texts are being decoded. Science is proving what mystics whispered for centuries. You are not a machine made of matter. You are an instrument made of light, sound, and intention. The tide is turning, and that terrifies them. Because the moment you remember who you are, they lose everything. The emotional core. Pause. Feel this in your bones. You've been lied to. You've been robbed. But you're not broken. The power they stole, it's still inside you. Waiting. Waiting for the moment you say, enough. Waiting for you to step out of fear and into frequency. That moment is now. What comes next? Because in the next section, I'm going to give you something most people will never hear in their lifetime. The science and the soul of reclaiming your vibrational sovereignty. This isn't about theory. It's about techniques. Practical, proven, sacred tools to tune yourself back to the frequency of creation. Because when you rise, everything rises. Modern science confirms ancient truth. The moment science bent the knee to spirit. For centuries, science and spirituality were enemies. One claimed reason. The other claimed faith. One called the other superstition. But something extraordinary has happened. The deeper science peers into the fabric of reality, the more it whispers what mystics have been shouting for millennia. Everything is vibration. Everything. Quantum physics, the collapse that changes everything. At the subatomic level, matter doesn't behave like bricks and steel. It behaves like a song. Particles exist as probability waves, not fixed things, until someone observes them. Read that again. Reality waits for consciousness to look at it before it decides to exist. This isn't philosophy. It's the double-slit experiment, repeated thousands of times, verified by Nobel-winning physicists. Your observation, your focus, doesn't just watch reality. It shapes reality. When you stare into the void stares back and takes form according to your attention. What does that mean for your life? It means the thoughts you feed with energy aren't harmless. They're blueprints. Every fear, every dream, every intention sends ripples into the quantum field. The cosmic ocean Tesla spoke of. Tesla's prophecy becomes physics. Tesla once said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. People dismissed it as poetic metaphor. But quantum electrodynamics, string theory, and field physics now confirm. Matter is energy condensed to a slow vibration. Your body is a harmonic orchestra of oscillations. Even your DNA hums at measurable frequencies. You are not solid. You are symphonic. Neuroscience, the frequency of consciousness. Brain scans reveal what ancient monks knew without machines. Each state of mind has a frequency. Gamma waves, 40 hertz and above transcendence. Mystical states. Unity consciousness. Theta waves, 4 to 8 hertz deep meditation. Healing. Access to the subconscious. Delta waves, 0.5 to 4 hertz regeneration. Cellular repair during deep sleep. When you meditate, chant, or listen to specific tones, you're not just relaxing. You're reprogramming your neural circuits, tuning your biological instrument back to harmony. Heart coherence, your hidden antenna. The HeartMath Institute discovered something shocking. Your heart emits an electromagnetic field 5,000 times stronger than your brain's. Every emotion you feel, love, anger, gratitude, radiates a frequency measurable up to 8 feet around you. When you feel gratitude, your heart enters coherence, a state where its rhythm synchronizes with your brain waves. In this state, your body heals faster, your intuition sharpens, and, most incredible of all, your energy field begins to influence other fields. What shamans called aura, science now calls biofield. Your emotions don't just stay inside you. They broadcast, and the universe listens. Water, the silent witness. Dr. Masaru Emoto froze water crystals after exposing them to different words, thoughts, and music. The result? Water exposed to love formed intricate, beautiful crystals. Water exposed to hate became chaotic and broken. Skeptics laughed until studies in epigenetics and vibrational medicine confirmed the principle. Your body is 70% water. Every word you speak, every thought you harbor is programming your cells. So ask yourself, what symphony are you writing inside your own bloodstream? DNA, the cosmic antenna. Russian scientists have shown that DNA can be reprogrammed using sound frequencies and coherent light. Think about that. Your genetic expression, what we once thought was destiny, can be altered by vibration. The traumas you inherited, the aging patterns you fear, they are not unbreakable laws. They are vibrational codes, and codes can be rewritten. You're not a prisoner of your genes. You're the composer of your genetic symphony. The numbers don't lie. 528 hertz and beyond. Modern bioacoustic research proves certain frequencies do more than soothe your mind. 528 hertz, the love frequency, associated with DNA repair and emotional healing. 432 hertz, the frequency of nature, brings your body into harmony with Earth's resonance. 396 hertz releases fear and guilt. Hospitals in Europe now experiment with vibrational therapy for neurological conditions. What was woo-woo yesterday is medical protocol tomorrow. From lab to life, why this matters to you. If thoughts influence particles, if emotions broadcast measurable waves, if sound reorganizes DNA, then nothing in your life is random. Not your pain, not your patterns, not your potential. It's all frequency. And here's the devastating truth. The system knows this. It always did. That's why they flood your environment with fear frequencies. That's why they train your nervous system to vibrate at anxiety, scarcity, and shame. Because a human who forgets their frequency is easy to own. But what happens when you remember? When you take control of the dial, you stop being a pawn. You become a player. No, you become the composer. Pause and feel this truth. Close your eyes. Feel your heart beating. Every beat is a drum in the cosmic orchestra. You're not separate from the song. You're the song. And the moment you change your note, the entire symphony shifts. This isn't fantasy. This is physics. And in the next section, I'm going to hand you something no textbook, no priest, no politician ever will. Practical techniques to break free from the vibrational matrix and tune yourself back to the divine frequency of creation. Frequency medicine and DNA healing. When healing becomes music, imagine walking into a hospital. No smell of chemicals, no harsh fluorescent lights, just soft golden light and a gentle hum in the air. It's not a song you hear. It's a frequency you feel. You lie down. No pills, no needles, only pure sound waves vibrating through your cells, dissolving disease like snow melting under the sun. Sounds like science fiction? It's not. It's already here. And it's called frequency medicine, the forgotten truth of ancient healers. Thousands of years ago, the Egyptians didn't use antibiotics. They used sound chambers that resonated at 110 hertz, a frequency modern science now knows calms the nervous system and activates intuition. The Vedic sages didn't just chant for devotion. They chanted because sound heals. Every mantra, every syllable is a vibrational key that unlocks a specific state of consciousness. Indigenous shamans didn't sing to the sick. They tuned them, like tuning a guitar that had fallen out of harmony with the universe. But somewhere along the way, humanity forgot. Or rather, we were made to forget. The return of frequency medicine. Fast forward to now. Yale University proved that mechanical vibrations accelerate bone regeneration. MIT discovered that low-frequency sound waves can alter human cell behavior, even cancer cells. Let that sink in. While Big Pharma spends billions on drugs with side effects, sound waves, pure, non-invasive sound, are reversing disease. Doctors like Dr. Anthony Holland have demonstrated that specific frequencies between 100 kilohertz and 300 kilohertz can shatter cancer cells without harming healthy ones. Just like a soprano breaking a glass with her voice. Except this time, it's not glass. It's tumors. DNA, your vibrational blueprint. Here's the part that will make you question everything you've been told about biology. DNA is not a static code. It's an antenna. It sends and receives information, and it responds to frequency. Russian scientists proved you can reprogram DNA using sound and coherent light. This means genetic disorders, inherited trauma, even aging, are not rigid sentences. They are vibrational patterns, and patterns can be rewritten. What does this mean for you? It means you're not a victim of your family tree. You're not doomed by your medical history. You are the composer of your genetic symphony, and the baton is in your hand. 528 hertz, the love frequency. Scientists call it the miracle tone. Why? Because it doesn't just make you feel good. It literally restructures water molecules into hexagonal patterns, the same geometry found in DNA helices. Play 528 hertz, and your body begins to repair at the cellular level. Hospitals in Europe are experimenting with it for trauma recovery and emotional healing. Other frequencies unlock other doors. 432 hertz brings harmony with Earth's natural vibration. 396 hertz releases fear and guilt, emotions that anchor you in low states. 741 hertz detoxifies the body and mind. Every frequency is a key. Your body is the instrument. And life is the song. The war on your frequency. Now ask yourself, if this knowledge liberates you, why wasn't it taught in school? Why are we drowning in synthetic drugs while sound, a free, limitless resource, remains sidelined? Because control thrives on dissonance. They don't want you tuned. They want you fractured, anxious, sick, vibrating at frequencies that keep you compliant. Every chaotic news broadcast, every fear-based ad, every fluorescent-lit office humming at unnatural EMF levels, it's not random. It's a frequency cage. And the moment you learn to break that cage, you become uncontrollable. Practical techniques to heal your frequency. You don't need $1 million lab. You don't need elite access to Tesla's archives. You can start right now. Here's how. 1. Sonic reset, 5 minutes daily. Find a 528 hertz or 432 hertz track. They're everywhere now. Sit still. Headphones on. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Visualize each note entering your cells, rewriting them with light. 2. Heart coherence breathing. Inhale for 5 seconds. Exhale for 5 seconds. Focus on your heart. Feel gratitude like it's pouring out of you. This aligns your heart and brain into coherence, a frequency that heals your body and magnetizes abundance. 3. Sacred geometry in your space. Add geometric patterns like the flower of life or Metatron's cube to your home. Why? Because shapes are frequencies frozen in form. They emit harmonics that shift your environment. Pause and feel this truth again. Close your eyes. Imagine every cell in your body humming in perfect harmony. No pain, no fear, just vibration, pure, luminous, divine. This is not imagination. This is your natural state. And the only thing standing between you and it is remembering. What comes next will shatter everything. Because if sound can heal your body, if thought can sculpt reality, if DNA can be rewritten with vibration, then what else is possible? Could we access higher dimensions? Communicate beyond time and space? Tesla believed we could. And in the next section, I'll reveal the role you play as a vibrational co-creator of reality and why your frequency determines the fate of this planet. Your role as vibrational co-creator. The moment you realize the truth. Take a deep breath. Right now, at this exact moment, your entire life is vibrating. The chair you're sitting on, the blood moving through your veins, the thoughts in your mind. All of it, frequency. But here's the part no one told you. You're not just a passenger in this vibrational ocean. You're the composer. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every word you speak. It's not just floating away into nothingness. It's broadcasting, like a radio tower. And the universe? It's the perfect receiver. Why your life looks the way it does. That struggle you're facing right now. That sense of why is everything so hard. It's not punishment. It's physics. Reality responds to frequency first, action second. Read that again. Reality responds to frequency first, action second. You can hustle, grind, claw your way through life. But if your vibration screams lack, fear, or self-doubt, you'll only attract more of it. Why? Because the universe doesn't hear your words. It hears your frequency. The hidden science behind manifestation. Ever wondered why affirmations often don't work? Why visualizing your dream life sometimes feels like lying to yourself? Because if deep inside you're radiating frustration, your frequency is misaligned. It's like trying to tune into a jazz station, but blasting heavy metal on the dial. Tesla knew this truth when he said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Manifestation isn't magic. It's mathematics. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions harmonize into a coherent frequency, reality has no choice but to reorganize around it. The emotional wake-up call. Close your eyes for a second and be brutally honest. How have you been vibrating lately? Fear? Stress? Anger? It's not your fault. The world is designed to keep you low. Every news headline, screaming disaster. Every social media feed engineered for comparison. Every fluorescent-lit office humming with EMF chaos. This is not an accident. It's vibrational warfare. Because the moment you remember who you are, the moment you realize your thoughts are blueprints and your feelings are frequencies, you become unstoppable. And systems built on control can't survive awakened beings. The power of one shift. You might be thinking, but how can I change my frequency when my whole life feels heavy? Here's the truth. You don't need to change everything at once. You just need to change one thing, your vibration. And that begins with a single emotion, gratitude. Why gratitude? Because it's the frequency of abundance. When you feel gratitude, not fake, but real, heart-cracking gratitude, your body floods with coherence. Your brain waves shift into alpha. Your electromagnetic field expands. And suddenly, the universe feels you. Not your words, not your vision board. You, the ripple effect you can't see. Scientists at Princeton University discovered something shocking. During global events, 9/11, mass meditations, even major celebrations, random number generators across the planet became less random. Why? Because human consciousness collectively altered physical systems. Think about that. If thousands of people meditating can bend statistical probability, what could your personal frequency do to your immediate reality? To your relationships? To your health? To your destiny? You are not small. Look at your hands. They're not just flesh and bone. They're energy coils, transmitters, receivers. The electromagnetic field from your heart alone extends 8 feet beyond your body. Every time you feel love, you're literally bathing your environment in healing waves. Every time you choose joy over fear, you're lifting the collective frequency of this planet. This isn't poetry. It's physics. And yet, it's sacred. Here's what they never wanted you to know. The elite have used this truth for centuries. Secret societies, ancient temples. Every empire builder knew. Control the vibration, control the world. That's why music was retuned from 432 Hz to 440 Hz in 1939. To keep you anxious, fragmented, disconnected from universal harmony. But today, you hold the power they've tried to bury for ages. The question is, will you use it? Your daily frequency ritual, simple but life-altering. Start tomorrow morning like this. Before touching your phone, place your hand on your heart. Breathe in for 5 seconds. Hold for 2. Exhale for 5. Whisper one sentence. I'm the frequency of love. I am the frequency of abundance. Do it for 2 minutes. That's all. You'll feel it. A subtle hum inside your chest. That's not imagination. That's coherence. That's the universe saying, I hear you. Pause here. Feel it. Everything you've ever desired, health, wealth, love, peace. It's not outside you. It's not in the next job, the next relationship, the next miracle. It's in your vibration. You've had the key all along. And now you remember. The final awakening. This is bigger than you manifesting a car or a house. This is about shifting the destiny of humanity. Because every time you raise your frequency, you send a ripple through the quantum field. And those ripples, they collide with others. They merge. They amplify until entire timelines bend toward harmony. The question is, will you keep broadcasting fear, or will you become the lighthouse? The tuning fork that reminds others of their divine frequency? Tesla believed that if we master vibration, we could change the world. He was right. And that world begins with you. Right now, in this breath. Next section preview. Practical frequency techniques, where we'll go beyond theory and give you actionable steps to retune your body, mind, and reality every single day. Practical frequency techniques. Stop waiting for miracles. Create them. You've come this far because deep inside, you know something is missing. You've read the books, tried the affirmations, and yet, why hasn't everything changed? Because words without vibration are empty. Visualization without emotion is powerless. Today, that changes, because I'm about to hand you the tools to retune your reality. Not someday, not after years of struggle. Now, the Tesla blueprint for reality hacking. Nikola Tesla said, if you want to find the secrets of a universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. What he didn't say, but lived, is this. When you control your frequency, you control everything. Tesla's experiments with resonance were not just about powering cities. They were about tapping into the Earth's natural harmonics, the heartbeat of the planet. He believed humans could do the same, and you can. Technique number 1. The 432 Hz reset. Let's start with sound. Why? Because sound bypasses your conscious mind and speaks directly to your cells. The modern world is tuned to 440 Hz, a frequency proven to create subtle stress and disharmony. Why do you think ancient instruments, Tibetan bowls, and even Egyptian temples resonate at 432 Hz? Because 432 Hz harmonizes with the natural frequency of the Earth. It aligns your body with the cosmos. Here's how to do it. Tonight, instead of mindlessly scrolling, put on a 432 Hz playlist. Let it play softly as you sleep or meditate. Within minutes, you'll feel your heart rate slow, your thoughts calm, your energy balance. This isn't placebo. Studies show 432 Hz reduces anxiety and activates alpha brain waves, the same state linked to creativity and deep intuition. Technique number 2. Tesla breathing for coherence. Breath is vibration in motion. It's the original frequency instrument given to you at birth. Tesla understood resonance begins inside, and your breath is the tuning fork. Try this now. Inhale for 6 seconds. Hold for 3. Exhale for 6. Repeat for 5 minutes. As you breathe, whisper these words on the exhale. I am frequency. I am creation. Do this daily and watch what happens. Your heart rate variability improves. Your electromagnetic field expands. Your body shifts from chaos to coherence, where manifestation becomes effortless. Technique number 3. Pineal gland activation. The third eye awakens. Why do they flood your water with fluoride? Because it calcifies your pineal gland, your inner antenna to higher consciousness. Here's how to reverse it. Ditch fluoride toothpaste. Switch to natural brands. Add iodine-rich foods, seaweed, spirulina. Sun gaze at sunrise or sunset for 2 minutes, eyes closed, absorbing the light. Then, use the humming method, a secret sound vibration that stimulates the pineal. Sit in silence. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath and hum Om on the exhale for 30 seconds. Feel the vibration in your skull. Repeat for 10 rounds. Tesla called this scalar resonance. You're literally vibrating your brain into a new frequency. Technique number 4, the emotion override. Science proves it. Gratitude is not just a feeling. It's a measurable frequency. When you feel genuine appreciation, your body emits coherent electromagnetic patterns that heal and attract abundance. The daily gratitude circuit. Write down 3 things you're thankful for, but here's the key. Close your eyes and feel each one for at least 60 seconds. Not just I'm grateful for my home, but I feel safe. I feel warm. I feel blessed in this space. When you lock emotion into thought, you create constructive interference, the same principle Tesla used in his frequency experiments. Technique number 5, frequency water charging. Dr. Masaru Emoto proved water responds to intention and sound. Guess what? You're 70% water. How to do it? Take a glass of water in the morning. Hold it with both hands. Whisper, I charge you with health. I charge you with abundance. I charge you with love. Then drink slowly. You've just reprogrammed your internal frequency blueprint. Technique number 6, heart coherence expansion. The HeartMath Institute discovered your heart emits the strongest electromagnetic field in your body, stronger than the brain. When heart and mind are aligned, miracles happen. How to practice? Place your hand on your heart. Breathe in for 5 seconds, exhale for 5. On each inhale, imagine drawing in pure light. On each exhale, imagine broadcasting love to the entire planet. You're not imagining this. You're creating ripples in the quantum field measurable by satellites. Yes, science confirmed this during global meditations. Ready for the truth? You don't need a guru. You don't need permission. You already hold the most advanced frequency device in existence, your consciousness. The question is, will you use it? Start tonight, not tomorrow, not when life gets easier. Because life doesn't get easier until you change your frequency.